Coming up next on RMU Live, the university has begun narrowing its search for the next president. RMU students across campus are attempting to set a Guinness World Record, and the New York Stock Exchange took a downturn after 2 disappointing weeks. We have all of that and more on RMU Live. Welcome back to RMU Live. Today is Monday, August 24th, 2015. I'm Eddie Sheehy.
And I'm Delaney Hassel. Here's what's happening now.
We have received word this morning that Robert Morris University might be announcing the next university president in the upcoming weeks.
The search committee has narrowed down the candidates, and the Board of Trustees are in their final stages of the selection process. We will be sure to update you with the latest on the presidential search at rmucenturymedia.com.
Now, while the administration is busy looking for the next president, students on campus are just trying to cope with the fact that it's already time to go back to class. Now, of course, it's not Robert Morris University without that great end of summer blowout known as Bobby Mania. This year's event included a live band, a mechanical bull, a collection of different bouncy houses, and as always, that spectacular fireworks show, all to welcome back students.
Students came back to a fresh look for the Patrick Henry Center this fall. For more on the renovations, here's RMU Live's Morgan Torsha.
If you've walked past the Nicholson building or the Patrick Henry building lately, you'll notice the giant dump trucks that have been working all summer to try to make some new construction changes. But the real question is, how is that affecting the students?
It honestly hasn't been affecting me so far. Maybe just the outside area over there. They're still spraying things off and everything, but it hasn't really affected me. I think it looks really nice, and I'm excited for when it's going to be finished.
It seems like they got the sidewalks paved out pretty well, and I think they added a couple new things, so really it's not that big of a deal. I think that it's going to all come together really well.
Provost Jameson is also very excited about the new changes occurring around the campus.
We are going to move the nuclear medicine faculty and all of the faculty who were in the Benjamin Rush Center. We're going to move them into the nursing building because for this year the Benjamin Rush becomes the career center. We really needed a much better career center, the one that, in the building that's being renovated, Patrick Henry, I guess we'll talk about Patrick Henry too. That career center really wasn't adequate anymore for our needs. So what we wanted to do is create a better career center, and Ben Rush will allow us to do that. It'll have more interview offices for prospective employers. It'll have more counseling offices and advising offices for the staff to work with students. All of that will be possible.
Construction will hopefully be done soon. Reporting for RMU Live, I'm Morgan Torsha.
This is just the latest in a series of changes the RMU campus has seen in the last few years.
Now, if you've been driving around campus lately, you may have noticed some new white lines painted on certain parts of the road. They might look insignificant, but RMU-TV's own Leah Fleischel has the story on why you're probably going to want to watch out for them.
There have been a lot of new changes to campus this summer, but these white lines behind me are what could end up costing you. These lines are located past the resident parking lot exiting campus on Colonial Way and coming up Pennsylvania Avenue toward Wheatley. RMU Police Chief Randy Mink told us that the department took a drive around campus and identified these areas as being high risk. Officers will be using stopwatches to clock students going too fast in these areas. We talked to students on campus to find out what they thought about the new speeding regulation.
The new VAST car lines, they seem like a good idea, but I think they make the area look a little bit worse, and also you're telling people where you're measuring.
Now, the goal in all of this is to keep pedestrians safe and keep accidents from happening on campus.
I definitely think that speeding on campus needs to be cracked down on because there are a lot of people who fly around here.
Now, if you are caught speeding, that means that you'd be issued a traffic citation, which is just like one that you'd be given on the highway. That means that you would have to pay a fine, there could be points in your license, and your insurance could go up, making your drive around campus a very expensive one. Reporting outside the Wheatley Center, I'm Leah Fleischel, RMU Century Media.
Students are, of course, always advised to drive safely around campus, but with these new measures in place, extra caution should be taken.
RMU is attempting to break a world record for the first time and doing it for a good cause too. On Saturday morning, the attempt to make a chain of tied t-shirts from the front of the Nicholson Building to Wendy's on University Boulevard will take place. The current record is 1,208 shirts.
The Office of Student Life and the class officers are going to be creating, we're going to be attempting to set our first Guinness record on campus. The Robert Morris University Guinness Book of World Record attempt is going to take place on Saturday morning, August 29th. But for the first week of class, from Bobby Mania through Saturday the 29th, we're going to be gathering t-shirts. We're going to be collecting t-shirts from as many people on campus that want to help us out.
If you want to see history be made, come to the Nicholson front lawn on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
And for all of the latest updates on RMU's news, sports, and arts and entertainment, you're going to want to make sure you visit the one-stop John Fisher shop, RMUCenturyMedia.com, or you could always download the RMU Century Media mobile app.
The weather for first day of class is very beautiful so far. 81 is our high today, but right now it's probably in the upper 70s. Low humidity today, slight breeze, perfect day. Actually makes it kind of hard to go inside. To see if the beautiful weather keeps up, stay tuned later in the show. But for now, Eddie and Delaney have the latest in news.
Thanks, Leah. Now coming up after the break, the stock market continues to drop. We have the latest update as of this morning.
And a late night shooting turned fatal last night. We have the details.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
At the opening bell on Wall Street this morning, the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 1,000 points, extending the losses of last week, which were already the worst for the stock market in nearly 4 years. With more on this is CNN's Mary Maloney.
Tensions high on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange as traders watched the numbers on the big board fall. This closing bell signaled the end of a bad week for America's stock market. The Dow plummeted 531 points, making it the worst week on the market since 2011.
What's going on right now is really a nasty wake-up call, not so much about what we know, but about what we don't know.
Here's what we do know. There's a fundamental fear around the global markets. One reason, China. They're concerned that China's economy is slowing down faster than what the Chinese government has reported. Another worry for Wall Street? Oil. For the first time since 2009, Oil prices dropped below $40. Compare that with a year ago when a barrel of oil was about $100. Not only does the fall in oil hurt U.S. energy stocks, but it also throws a wrench in the global economy. The Fed hasn't helped. The U.S. Federal Reserve has been sending out mixed signals on whether it will raise interest rates in the next month. The uncertainty with the central bank makes the markets uneasy. And for some investors, that means taking a break from the stock market game. But we won't know the fullest extent until the markets open Monday to see if this just was a bad week or the signs of a much bigger problem.
What is this going to do to consumer confidence, to investor confidence, and also what's it going to do to the Fed?
I'm Mary Maloney, reporting.
We will keep you updated over the coming weeks and months as the situation in the stock market plays out.
A man is dead after being shot near the Wilkinsburg exit of the Parkway East lane last night. 24-year-old Shaka McGee was taken to Children's Hospital by private means and was pronounced dead shortly after 11:30 p.m. Police are investigating.
Emergency crews were dispatched early Sunday afternoon after a plane crash in the Kiski River in Indiana County. The plane went down after losing fuel pressure, but luckily for the pilot, the river was shallow enough for him to walk out of his plane and onto the shore. He was not injured after the incident, and the Federal Aviation Administration has been called to investigate.
Apple announced an iPhone 6 recall this weekend, claiming that the smartphone is taking blurry photos. According to the website, the issue mostly applies to phones sold between September 2014 and January of this year. Apple will replace the iSight camera on the back of the phone for free. If you are an affected customer, you can visit an authorized service provider, any Apple store, or contact technical support to fix the problem.
Self-driving cars have long been touted as the future of the automotive industry. And now, thanks to technology being developed in Israel by a company named Mobileye, that may be a reality sooner rather than later. CNN's Samuel Burke has the story.
CNN's put me in the passenger seat of a driverless car. Once they even let me go behind the wheel, but only in a parking lot. Now, for the first time, I'm actually allowed out on the open road in the driver's seat. Or is that the driverless seat?
Oh Lord, that's a steep hill we're going down.
Car manufacturers are racing to the finish line, hoping to be first with a fully autonomous car on the road. Even though they're in close competition, Tesla, Volvo, GM, Audi, BMW, and 8 other car companies are all using the technology designed by Israeli company Mobileye. From a tiny startup to the biggest IPO in Israeli history, Mobileye rose to prominence with a dashboard camera for everyday cars to alert drivers to potential collisions. Now they're rebooting the systems to allow the driver to take their hands off the steering wheel.
So tell me, what's in this car right now that allows me to do this interview with you? I'm behind the wheel and I have my hands up, as you can see. So what's actually here that allows this?
So it's all powered by a front-facing camera in a development system. In production, there will be multiple cameras to get 360 degrees. And what we see here in the monitor is what the processing chip picks up from the visual field. It knows about other cars, it knows about people.
Mobileye says there are 2 key ingredients to the secret sauce of their company's success. First, their algorithms. Dozens of teams in the company's Jerusalem headquarters obsess over these algorithms so computer cameras can recognize the difference between a green and a red light, or a bicycle darting in front of the car. The other ingredient?
All the value of the company is in this chip. It has 10 times the computing power of any chip that you can buy on the market.
When we're on the freeway, who's safer, me or your system right now?
The robotic system will be better than a human driver. But the reason for this kind of technology at the end of the day is not to make driving more fun, it is to make driving more safe.
I'm keeping my hands near the steering wheel just in case.
Samuel Burke, CNN, Israel.
Ziva Viram, the CEO for Mobileye, said the technologies they've been working on will reach consumers for the first time this year, though he declined to identify the automaker the technology will be packaged with.
Now, Ben, can you tell us what's going on in Pittsburgh this week for sports?
Coming up in sports, there were 2 major injuries in yesterday's Steelers-Packers game. and more on the Pirates.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to RMU Live. I'm Ben Kelkis with the latest in sports. Last night, the city of Pittsburgh had a doubleheader with the Steelers taking on the Green Bay Packers and the Pirates facing the San Francisco Giants in prime time. The Steelers took the field first in a game yielding its share of injuries on both sides. Green Bay receiver Jordy Nelson tore his ACL on the opening drive of the game, trying to cut up the field. Though Nelson was able to walk off the field, he did not return to the game. Later in the first, center Marquise Pouncey went down with a left ankle injury after running back Le'Veon Bell rolled into him. Mike Tomlin announced Pouncey will need surgery on his ankle and that they do not know whether he will return. After trailing a majority of the game, the Steelers went on to defeat the Packers 24-19. The Steelers will play the Buffalo Bills this Saturday at 4 o'clock. The Pirates took the field just a few hours later to finish their 4-game series with the San Francisco Giants. The Bucs got off to a quick start, scoring 3 back-to-back runs in the first. In the top of the fifth, Giants' Marlon Byrd popped up over Pedro Alvarez. After dropping fair, Walker tried for a play at second, but he skipped the ball into left field, allowing Matt Duffy to score. The Pirates managed to maintain their lead with a pair of homers from Andrew McCutchen and Pedro Alvarez in the final innings, sealing a 5-2 victory. Pirates kick off a 4-game road series against Miami Marlins tonight at 7:10. That's all we have for sports. I'm Ben Kelkis. Now here's Leah with the weather.
Thanks, Ben. As I said earlier, today's going to be a beautiful first day for classes with 81. You're going to see a little bit of sun, a little bit of clouds. Most of the cloudiness has already passed, probably in the mid to upper 70s right now. Low humidity, slight breeze, perfect type of day. And then for tomorrow, we're going to see much of the same. Little bit cooler, 74 also, sun and clouds mixed. The low, we're going to get a little bit chilly tomorrow night, so if you're out around walking, maybe bring a hoodie, something like that. But for the week, it's going to cool down and then warm back up. As you can see on Wednesday, we have a temperature of high 73, drops down to 52 at night, which is pretty chilly. Thursday, much of the same. It's going to be a high of 74, low 51. Friday, all sunny, jumps back up into the 80s, but the nights stay pretty cool with a low of 56. On Saturday, really starts to feel like August again. These temperatures right now are a little seasonably cool. 86 high on Saturday and a low of 61. And then on Sunday, first chance of storms and rain all week. So we're actually going to see a very beautiful week as far as weather goes. Not too much need to take your umbrella or prepare for storms. So enjoy the weather while it lasts. We all know it's going to get chilly. As the Farmer's Almanac said, this winter might be worse than last winter, and that's not really what we want to hear at all. And now back over to Eddie and Delaney at the desk.
If that's true about the winter, we're going to have to get outside and enjoy everything we have right now.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to this winter, but that's all we have for RMU Live this afternoon.
We will see you guys next time.